What's going on, fellow A-plusers? It's your boy Adam Perez back today to go ahead and give you guys my thoughts on the brand new Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom that went ahead and dropped this week. Now, this is a fact. The official final DCEU film. Just thinking about all the previous DCEU films we've had, it's just a little bit of a shame that they couldn't kind of come together and actually give us a coherent cinematic universe after the Zack Snyder stuff. It's just kind of been a bundle of just everything, if you will, different visions, different perspectives, story arcs begin that haven't finished, sort of thing. It's just been a big muddled mess, unfortunately. And Aquaman and the Last Kingdom is, in fact, the last film out of this DCEU run before James Gunn begins his DCU with Superman Legacy in 2025. So, very much looking forward to that. But look, I was a big fan of the first Aquaman. I enjoyed Jason Momoa certainly in this particular role as sort of that reluctant king, if you will. His first movie made over $1 billion, surprising a lot of people. And he's back. After seeing this film, you can definitely tell that there are just the idea of how much they built out the scope of this world. You can definitely see there's a lot more for James Wan to certainly play with. But I'm definitely not expecting an Aquaman 3 anytime soon, especially with Jason Momoa really kind of looking forward to the future and his further involvement in the DCU. So let's talk a little bit about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And guys, listen, if you've had the opportunity to check out this film, feel free to go ahead and let me know your thoughts down below. This is going to be my non-spoiler review, just giving you guys my thoughts. And I'm going to go ahead and also grade Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom at the end of this episode. So look, when it comes to this movie, my expectations were certainly low going into it. I certainly wasn't expecting a lot. I've been hearing a lot of the people that had checked out the pre-screenings of this really putting this movie down before it even got the opportunity to be seen by others. And look, they said that about the first Aquaman film, and I was a big fan of it. So going into the second one, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to listen to what anybody certainly has to say, and just go into this movie and enjoy it for what it is. What James Wan and Jason Momoa created, I'm going to go ahead and certainly try my best to enjoy it. And I went in and saw this film, and it was just okay. I really hate to say it, but it was just an okay film for me. I was not a big fan of the first act of this movie. While I do think that there are great moments in here, especially with some great dialogue between Arthur Curry along with his father, there is something cool that I personally can connect with in the sense of, well, not being a single father, but being a father with a newborn and, the chaos that certainly comes with certainly having to raise a child, if you will. But some of the conversations just kind of didn't really lead to anywhere for me. It didn't really have the depth and emotion that I was certainly hoping that I would certainly connect with. So that first act really felt strange to me. And while I do understand that James Wan's concept in this movie was for it to be sort of a bromance, if you will, seeing a lot of Jason Momoa or a lot of Arthur with just his son and Mara like nowhere to be found for some of this movie. Even though Amber Heard as Mara is in this film, the family time really isn't there. So it almost felt very much like a family separated and the dad is just looking after the son on his own, sort of thing. And nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It just felt a little bit disjointed for me when I watched the first act of this particular film. But honestly, where it turns around and it becomes a lot more enjoyable is when Patrick Wilson as Orm certainly gets involved, and then that true bromance, the great chemistry back and forth with one another, right? Somebody that takes his job very seriously, and again, Arthur as that sort of reluctant king who's goofy and just like, will do anything sort of mentality. It is kind of cool to kind of see them clash at times, but then also really work together. So if there was like an element about this film that I was a big fan of, it definitely was the Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson combination in here. I think the action is relatively incredible. I think there are a couple of fight sequences in here that really blew me away, that felt like they were stripped right out of a comic book, and I think James Wan captured that in the first Aquaman 2, and it gets even bigger and better in this film also. I did watch this on IMAX, and I do think that it benefited my enjoyment from checking out this film. Considering the fact that it was filmed in IMAX, it was perfect, especially for the big open ocean sequence sequences, the action sequences and stuff, IMAX really works for this. So I think if you want to get the most out of your money of this movie, check it out in IMAX for sure. But the action was there, and the scope of the world continued to grow for me. Like, I love how James Wan utilizes flashbacks, stories of the past to kind of get you caught up and give you an idea as to kind of what's going on. But then you just see how much bigger this world certainly is. You know what I mean? So those are definitely aspects of this movie that I enjoyed. The chemistry between Orm and Arthur, the gigantic action, and really the scope that this movie builds in regards to world building. I think the CGI looked pretty good, special effects wise, looked pretty good. I saw some people complaining about it. I honestly didn't have any issues with it. I did think that Black Manta sort of became downgraded, if you will, in regards to him being the villain. Like, there's it's something about this plot and this script that feels, and no pun intended, but very surface level. And I really wish that James Wan sunk a little bit deeper into the feelings and the motivations and things like that. While we got glimpses of why Black Manta is doing what he's doing, it's almost like his journey and his mission sort of gets combined with another villain that we don't really care so much about, sort of thing. And in turn, I think it drags down Black Manta in the sense of, I wish Black Manta was the main and only villain in this movie, so that his transgressions towards Arthur can be felt a little bit more personally than what it certainly was. And so, the villains was weak, script was a little bit surface level. I wish it went a little bit more into depth. Some of the side characters, I really didn't care for their appearances in here, although I was really surprised. I had a good time with Nicole Kidman popping up in here, and I was actually surprised to see Dolph Lundgren have an impact in this movie also. I wasn't sure if he was going to be returning for this film, but he certainly does also. So overall, just an okay film for me. I feel like if I had to grade this movie, there's a part of me that wants to be generous and say I want to give it a C, but I kind of feeling like a C minus right now. But you know what? I'm gonna give it a C. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a C. And based off of maybe what some of my other co-hosts and members of Facebook think, if they didn't like the film any more than I did, then maybe that might bring my score down to a more of a C minus. But as of right now, I'm gonna stick with a C. So that's anywhere between like 74 to 76 percent if I had to certainly grade this film. But again, I am kind of leaning towards C minus, so we'll see how it changes over time. Maybe by the time we get to our spoiler talk for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, maybe my grade will change. But as of right now, give me a C. Look, I am one of those people that always highly recommend, look, if there's a movie that you want to see out there, who cares what I think, who cares what other pundits or other critics think, go see the film certainly for yourself. I'm probably not going to recommend it to people in regards to like, hey, you know what, if you want to see something just blows you away, probably not. But look, if you're looking for a little fun popcorn flick, I don't think you'll certainly be disappointed in that regards. But other than that, those are my thoughts, my A+ opinions. At the end of the day, I want to know yours. What did you guys think about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below. Until next time, guys, do me a big favor, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.